What do y'all know about these V8 energy drinks? Hello everyone, my name is Izzy if you are new. Hi! We are going to be doing my August wrap up. I read 9 books, I think. Hold on, I could be lying. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I read 9 books this month! Go me. Let's just go over some statistical things because I've never done that before, and you know what? I'm just curious. 4 romances this month, 1 literary, 3 fantasy, 1 mystery thriller. Let's just go ahead and let's get started. So the first book that I read in August was Not in Love by Ali Hazelwood. One of them is a food chemist who works for this food company, kind of trying to create like preserve food better. She's on this app where basically you like hook up with people, and she meets our main male character. They don't end up hooking up together because of an altercation that happens, but they both are kind of like, we kind of like each other anyways. Maybe this is something, maybe it's not. Here's my number. Text me if you want. Until the next day, she finds out that this guy is actually part of the company that is now owning her company. His company is now kind of taking over leadership and ownership of her company that she works at, and she doesn't like that because she's really tight with the CEO of her company. Are we following along? Okay. There's just something about her books that are so bingeable to me. I feel like they just flow very easy. I feel like I am never bored in one of her books. This one is definitely more spice heavy than the other STEM romances, but I felt like it wasn't that much spicier in my opinion, but like the plot is still really interesting. The characters' romance I thought was really sweet. I ended up giving it 3.5 stars. If you enjoy her other STEM romances and you don't really mind more spice, I would recommend. The next book I read was The Lost Story by Meg Schaefer. I actually listened to this one. I technically didn't read it, but I read it. This book is a Narnia retelling, sorta. So these 2 boys had disappeared into this forest. A couple of months later, they come back and kind of have no real recollection of what happened to them in the forest. One of the boys kind of helps find missing girls and women and stuff like that. One of the main characters reaches out to the guy that can find other people to help find her sister. I was really excited by it because I love Narnia. It's like such a nostalgic place for me, or nostalgic place. Like I've been there. It's such a nostalgic book for me, but like I felt like this story didn't really encapsulate what I really wanted it to be, and I don't know how to explain that. I just didn't like love the plot overall. It was just kind of meh. It was still a cute little book. I didn't really connect to the characters that much. I didn't love the plot setup. Didn't really connect to the romance that much, so therefore I gave it 3 stars. The next book I read was The Rom-Comers by Catherine Center. The Rom-Comers is about our 2 main characters. One of them is like a really prolific screenwriter, and he is writing a really rom-com. Our other main character kind of gets thrown into the mix and tries to help him out fixing his rom-com. This book was so good. I just love Catherine Center's writing, I think, and I just noticed that in this book I just really enjoyed her storytelling. I feel like for me, I was never bored in this book. I thought something was always happening. I felt like it was the perfect length for me, at least. However, I hated Charlie. Hated that bitch. He got better, but I still didn't like him. There were obviously, I didn't hate this book because of the main characters, but like I also didn't love them, and I didn't like super connect with that romance, but still there were cute moments. I was giggling and kicking my feet in some moments. The plot setup as a whole is just really good and so well done. Even though I didn't love our characters, I loved the premise of this. So I gave it 4 stars? Yeah, I gave it 4 stars. Sorry, I couldn't remember if I gave it 4 stars or not. I'm gonna go very briefly over these books because they were rereads for me. I listened to Defy the Night and Defend the Dawn by Bridget Kemmerer. I really want to read Destroy the Day. Oh my god. Oh, did you see that fucking dust? Holy shit. Apparently I need to dust up there. I have yapped so much about these books before. It's basically set in this kingdom where there's a sickness going around. The only thing that cures it is this certain thing called a moonflower petal. Our main character goes over to the richer district to steal them and give them to the poor. So it's kind of like a little bit of a Robin Hood retelling. There's another perspective, which is the prince. He's having a problem of kind of like trying to figure out what will help stop the sickness, because also his brother, the king, is sick. I don't want to give them a rating, honestly, because I was low-key re-listening to these books. These are 5-star reads for me, and I low-key listened to them, and I didn't feel like they were 5-star reads anymore to me. And that's Don't look at me. I'm just gonna let them be in their own little orbit of pretending these are 5 stars still, because I still love these books. Oh my god, I'm so excited to talk about this. Okay, a book that I know is 5 stars. I read Play Along by Liz Tom Ford. This is the 4th book of the Windy City series. This is about Isaiah, Kai's little brother, and Kennedy, who is the athletic trainer for the baseball team. Isaiah and Kennedy meet up in Vegas. They're somehow both in Vegas and they get a little drunky wunky and uh-oh, they're now married. Whoops, how did that happen? So instead of getting an annulment or getting a divorce, they decide to stay married because there's some circumstances happening where they kind of need to pretend that they are still married because of their jobs. Guys, this book is so good. So good. Liz Tom Ford just knows what I want and she delivers every fucking time, okay? She just knows. Isaiah, need him. Just need him, okay? Love him, need him, want him. And I can't have him. Kennedy, also great character. Their dynamic together was so damn good. The banter, the scenes, the banter, the characters, everything was just lining up for it to be a 5-star read. And it sure was. It was a 5-star read. If you haven't read the Windy City series, you need to. Bottom line. These next 2 books I actually read in my Reading Brittany Broski's Favorite Books video thing. And the first book was Angels and Demons by Dan Brown. This book is gonna be so fucking hard for me to explain because there's a lot of shit going on. But to give you a brief summary, it's a mystery thriller where this one guy gets murdered because of this certain thing that he has created, and he gets murdered by the Illuminati. Our main character decide to kind of go around, one, to find this thing that's going to literally explode Vatican City where they're at, and 2, to figure out who this murderer is and try and catch him as well, because the murderer is also killing off popes because they're having this whole like pope convention. There's something happen. They're electing a new pope technically, but I don't remember like what that's called, and I don't remember. There's a lot of shit happening in this book. I don't know how to explain it all without it sounding absolutely wacko, and I'm sorry if that was bad. There are like some sciencey / religious / historical facts that happen in this book. It is definitely interesting to learn about, but it definitely like takes away sometimes what's going on in the story because there's just so much information coming at you. But it was still really good. The mystery was so good. There was like twists happening like 5 chapters before this book was going to end, and there's like plot twist upon plot twist, and you're like, oh my god, I wasn't expecting any of this. I think this author is just also very smart because there's so much in this. It was such a like interesting book. I gave this 4 stars. Very fun, very good. The next book I finished was A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J Maas. My battery died. I was bored. I thought Vera, our main character, was just so stupid. She was a dumb bitch. Let's be so for real. I was just like, I literally don't know why you're doing any of this. Like, stop. And also, I didn't love the romance either. I thought her and Tamlin were just like, they don't fucking talk and then all of a sudden they're fucking. And I'm just like, how did we get from here to there? It just didn't really make sense. I just didn't really love this one. I can see why you do love it, so I don't want to shit too much on it, but I did give it a 2.5 stars. And the last book that I read in August was All Roads Lead Here by Mariana Zapata. All Roads Lead Here is about our main character named Aurora, who is kind of going back down to this old town she used to live in because kind of from like this big breakup that she's had. So when she gets to her rental place, this guy comes up and is like, who the fuck are you? Why are you here? Get out, you're trespassing. She's like, no, I literally rented this room out. This guy is like, what the fuck are you talking about? His little teenage son pops up and is like, oh yeah, hey, so I rented this place out and didn't tell you and went ahead and did it. So don't be mad. Rhodes is technically Aurora's landlord. This was good. I did enjoy it. My only thing with this book is Mariana Zapata really repeats a lot in this book. I also think there was a lot of show no tell, or there's a lot of tell no show. She would like go on like a journey or she would do something or whatever, and then we would hear about it, and then we never saw what that she was actually doing. There's a lot of instances where I felt like it just kept dragging. dragging. And I was like, girl, why are these scenes getting like repeated and dragged on? That's why this book is so chunky and so fucking big, is because you kept fucking talking about something that you already said. I say that all to say I still really liked it. I thought it was still really good. Looking back, maybe this is more of like a 3.5 star. I did like binge it all. Every time I put it down, I wanted to pick it back up. I feel like that's when you know you have a really good book. It's like when all you want to do is read. So even though I like was like low-key like complaining about those things, I still really liked it. I really enjoyed it. If you love Grumpy Sunshine, here you go. Single dad trope, Grumpy Sunshine, small town, slow burn. If you love any of those tropes, you're gonna love this book. And I thought it was still really good and I really enjoyed it. I'm gonna go before my camera decides to do something weird again. But thank you so much for watching and I will see you all in my next one.